fancy stuff. Yes guys, I didn't see you there. How are you doing guys? Hope everybody is well. We are out on our first drive, because YouTube says we should call it the first drive, even though the first drive was when obviously I drove the car the first time and obviously told you guys about the reveal. But for YouTube titling sake and hopefully for views, because we all know how without views the world wouldn't go round, this is our first drive in the BMW M4. So the BMW M4, the M240i, as you probably saw from the last video, those of you that have been long-term subscribers of the channel will know that the M240i has been sold. It has gone to LLF Games. I'm not sure if you're yeah, we've got the M4. It is the cheapest M4 in the UK, if I haven't told you guys by now. It was under 20 grand when I bought it. I've watched this for a while and I've watched the price creep down each and every time. However, I did notice that the reason why this car obviously was so cheap, number one, it's got over 85,000 miles. It's an 8-year-old car. It's still an M car, meaning that the engine should be solid as far as we do the right thing. So I'm sure Williams Performance, Swift Performance, GG Autos, everyone's going to get tucked in and get it running how it should be. But my thing is for the price, this car is still classed as a steal. Not to mention, it's also got the M Performance exhaust, meaning that it's got fancy titanium back box, and it's, I don't know whether it goes up until the res, I don't know if it removes the secondary reses, but it's really, let me just give it another second gear pull. Listen to this. BMW are going to give you this. Yeah, so we are going to get this car up on a ramp, and I think we might go and see Mark probably this weekend, or if not next weekend, to get the car up on a ramp and checked out, because it handles okay. To be honest with you, I haven't driven another F82 back-to-back for puddles. I haven't, puddles, nice. It's winter after all, and I'm going to wash the car in a minute. Let's get some slipping. Oh, to be fair, you know what? These tyres give a lot of grip. 255, 275, PS4Ss, huge. This is the first time I've owned a car with PS4Ss. Bearing in mind, all of the cars I've got, I've always gone down to 18s, and obviously you can't get PS4Ss in 18s in the United Kingdom anyway. But I digress. As I was saying, the M Performance sounds epic. It's got 2-piece floating disc. The pads are a bit juddery there. Brembo HP 2000s, which, to be fair, I don't really know much about them. We usually do the blue stuff, the 2500s, etc, etc. Williams Performance, slap them in your basket, get it ordered, we've got them on the shelf ready to go. But other than that, it's a still like, yeah, it's an M4, carbon roof, carbon, it's got OEM everything. And the guy who owned this car, I believe, so I've been told anyway, worked for BMW. And I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, that means diddly squat. But when you look at MOTs and stuff like that, and it's all been done at a BMW garage, you're kind of like happy that it's in good nick. And like I said, I don't know if I have said, but Define Coding has already plugged this into his magical little laptop. It's like one of those orange ones you can find in Argos, those little baby ones. And he's checked it on BMW Ista. This car's never been mapped, so the engine probably hasn't been abused to a point where it's taken stupid amount of power, and I don't know, the head gasket's gonna blow, or touch wood, nothing is actually gonna go wrong, because at the end of the day, this is the same engine, give or take probably, I don't know, a bolt or two, that is gonna be in the GTS, the M4 GTS, and that has, I believe, around 510, 520 brake horsepower, so the engine's bulletproof to a degree. There are a few things that everyone says the crank up fix, which again Mark will probably get stuck into quite soon, but we've got too many plans. Like me and Mark were like little kids at, I don't know, I was going to say a cornflake factory for some reason, but two kids in a merry-go-round like place, and they'd just be like, yeah, we're going to do this, going to do this, going to do this. Swift Performance, you've got Russ like, yeah, I'm the best driver in the UK, I'm going to do this. You've got Josh, Auto ID, Swift Performance, yeah, I've got carbon fibre for you, mate, I'm ready. I'm like, mate, it's already got carbon fibre, calm down. It's like, yeah, but I've got more. So there is loads of plans for this car. I'm overly excited. In regards to the M240 and why is, if you've watched the channel, I know I like saying that, but it's true. If you've watched the channel, you would know that I previously had an M2 and I sold that during lockdown, and I made very good profit on that. That was a very good decision financially to do that, and it was good. And then I moved back to a B58, because B58 is just a great engine, loved it, day to day, it does the job, and obviously on track, it does the job. And that car we were building towards a time attack build, and when I sold the M2, I thought about getting something for content, and at the time I was like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. 140 gets loads of views, the new M240 is coming out, so it'll be great to have that. And then obviously the new 240 would kind of help it gain some traction. That didn't work, that backfired. So I said to myself, going forward, I'm very fortunate to work with a lot of brands and create loads of content without having to use my car in every single YouTube video. So I'm better off buying a car that I want, at the same time, a car that can still make me some content. And that's why we looked, okay, BMW, it's got to be, because I love a BMW, my favourite car sort of thing. And I don't know, content wise, let's get something that we can fix up, let's get something that can go wrong and we've got to change it, something to do, as opposed to, yeah, I'm changing this because I want to, I'm going to change it because I need to. And it's all about the needs and not the wants. That's some good parental advice. But yeah, enough waffling, we've got a bit of open road now. Listen to this. 420 brake. That exhaust just makes you don't want to flat the accelerator, especially in these conditions as well. You just want to feed it in and just let it sing, because boy, it can sing. So there are a few things that are going to happen with a car of this age. Number one, you're going to get loads of rust. Number two, you're going to find a few parts that are probably going to be given like a bit of wear and tear more than necessary that you'd find on a BMW, because most people don't usually keep the same BMW for 8 years. If you do, hat off to you. I'm not going to take your hat off because I've got bad trim at the minute, so I need a trim. Yeah, I don't know, it drives like a dream. So I'm very, very curious when Mark does get it on the ramp and he gets his torch out and he's, I don't know, what's his name? What's Columbo, Detective Columbo jacket out, and he's checking underneath it. Hopefully we don't find anything too dramatic. Obviously if it needs to be changed, it needs to be changed, safety first. But yeah, this is, in my opinion, it is a steal. And like I said, there was a guy in the comments, yeah, I'm outing you out right now. This car was listed originally at around 24, then it went down to 23, then it went down to 22. In the end, I spoke to the guy, like, mate, you know, sell it, mate, sell that. Yeah. And then literally managed to get a stupendous deal. The potholes are, the devil created these potholes, man. I'm very curious to find out what settings you M-car owners are using, because something that is really annoying, when I turn the car on, it defaults to sport steering, sport suspension, and like efficiency, which is comfort accelerator. And that's great if I just want to, don't know, go for a medium hoon, but I want it soft when I just want to just cruise around. But I have to do that every single time I get in the car. So M1 probably should be set up for full comfort, but I'd rather use the M1 and M2s for M modes, not really comfort. And you know what I mean? If there is a setting, or you guys know anything, like a little device or anything, let me know. But yeah, like, other than that, twin turbo. Another question for you M-car guys is, what setting do you have your gearbox in? Because the gearbox on an M-car, you can actually fiddle around with how aggressive the shifts are. And I know on the ZF you got XHP to make it aggressive, but that's nothing compared to this. This thing does something called kangarooing. So when I put it in Drive Logic 3, which is the highest and 1 being the lowest, every time you upshift, it goes bang, bang, bang. And my M2 did that, but it wasn't as aggressive as this. So we probably will meet up with Kyle at some point after Christmas when his belly is full and his battery isn't, when we can obviously he's gonna beat me up to go through some settings and see what we can change on BMW. So again, define code and make sure you hit him up for anything BMW coding wise. I'm hoping we're going to be able to eradicate this kangaroo business. The car isn't lowered, so it isn't currently on springs, but I think the stance definitely needs to be changed, so we will be getting that done in due course. Go ahead, senor. Go, trust me, you better go now, you better go now. That's it, that's it. Sounds epic. Sounds absolutely epic. So as mentioned, this is quite a steal. We've got the floating center caps, we've got the two-piece disc, M Performance exhaust. anyone has got that system, please let me know whether this is normal. There's definitely no decat, I'll tell you that for free. I can smell a decat a mile away, and there's no decat on there. But this, guys, epic. And the brakes, I'm sure if I put a more aggressive pad in there with a 2-piece, it's going to be disgusting. EBC 2-piece, floating discs, proper braking system. And I've yet to proper take this car flat out, because obviously down here in the south anyway, we've had snow, we've had sleet, we've had ice, we've had sun, we've had moon, we've had sky. But we haven't had any proper weather for me to fully take this thing out and see what it's about. And again, I know the crank up needs to be done, and a lot of people do say it's a rumor, it's not a real thing, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. The last thing I want to do is create work for ourselves. So something that could be not an easy, because it is a 3-day job. A crank up fix, I'm going to end up with an engine rebuilding. Me and Mark already spoke about that. That potentially could take the car off for quite some time. So yeah, I don't know if we'll do one track day before we do the crank hub. I'm not too sure, or whether the crank hub needs to be done before the track day. Again, we've got loads of time to discuss that, because we won't be doing a track day anytime soon in this sort of weather, but we will be sending it as often as possible. Boy, man, boy, oh boy, savagery, word of the day, savagery. And again, we're just driving around here, all on traction control off, and not once has this thing tried to kill me. And this is the difference between this and an M-Light. This protects you without even trying. An M-Light, I think the power, once you go a certain power range, once you go to a certain power range, it just gets very, very stupid. This, you can do it all day, every day. But yeah, guys, I'm going to end the video here. If this video does go out before Christmas Day, which I believe it might, or if it doesn't, hope you've had a great festive period. Stay blessed, look after your family, love each other, and let's just have a great 2023. God bless.